Jess, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's kind of a video that I was a little bit nervous to make. So I had mentioned in my last video that I was going to make a video talking about what it's like to lose someone. And so the person that I lost was my mom. So this video is something that I've been wanting to do because I feel that it could help someone who is going through the process of losing someone they're close to or someone that they have lost that they're close to. My story is about my mom. My mom was my best friend in the entire world, but I feel okay talking about it now because I know that she is not in pain anymore and she's not suffering. She became really sick in January of 2016, and April 1st, 2016, my mother passed away at 2:56 in the morning. Originally in January, we thought that my mother had diverticulitis. After some more tests and things were done, it was discovered that my mother actually had liver cancer. And just hearing that alone was enough to make me want to crawl into a ball and just stop existing. I mean, you know, my mom was like my best friend. Like, she was like my whole world, basically. Like, in a nutshell. She held me down, she kept me grounded, she was just everything. Some of the biggest things that I would say about losing someone is you have to let yourself grieve. 5 stages of grieving, and you have to just let yourself go through each individual stage, and you have to take as much time as you need in each one. I know for me, I was in the denial one for probably a while, and I didn't hit acceptance until me and my sister were driving one day, and the school that my mom worked at, she worked there my entire life, and I did not hit acceptance until me and my sister were driving, and she was like, hey, do you want to see the new school? Because my sister worked there at the time. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And when we drove by and I saw that school, and it was not the school that I remembered my mom being in, I think that was the point where I hit acceptance, because I had this false image in my head of my mom, like, oh, my mom's not gone. My mom's just at work. She's in the office. I could stop by anytime and go see her, but I can't today. And that was the hardest part of denial. Once I saw that that school was gone, I think that was the point where I was really like, wow, like, this is not a joke. Like, my mom's actually gone. I stopped going out to the gravesite so much because I felt like it was something that was really not good to keep going out there so many times for my personal self. But for me, it was becoming hard, and I didn't go like that much, but it was hard to go out there for a while because I just didn't want it to be true that my mom was gone. The thing about it is that the pain is never gonna go away, but it'll get easier. Another really big thing is that me and my siblings and my dad, we had an absolutely amazing support team. My mom was very, very well known within the community that surrounded the school. People knew her, you know, bending backwards, and even previous children from that school would come up to the hospital and check on her. It helped so much to have just that team of people to be there and to be like helping me and my siblings get through this, because, you know, it was just very, very hard, just like it's going to be hard for anybody who loses someone they're close with. Absolute biggest things I would say for dealing with going through a loss of someone you love or care about is to just let yourself go through those stages, like the 5 stages of grief. And then also to, if you can, have a really supportive team with you, or have, even if it's just one friend who's there to help, you get through it and help support you and make sure that you're doing okay, and be just like a shoulder to cry on, or just an ear just to listen to you talk. That was some of the things that were very helpful in me getting through the death of my mother. I was saying the 5 stages: denial, which was just extremely hard for me, because I could not believe the fact that my mother was gone. She was the person that I always went to anytime that something like that was going on. Like when her father passed away, I kind of clung to my mom in the hospital because I was like, my mom was like my comfort. So I went through a lot of denial with accepting the fact that she was gone. The anger stage, I don't really know, because for myself personally, I feel like I didn't have a ton of anger, but then if you ask like my fiance, he might say, you had so much anger. I didn't really pay that much attention to that stage, just because I don't remember I know I went through a couple stages where I was very, very angry, but I just don't remember a ton about being angry. Bargaining, that was something that I really was getting very bad at. I would sit there and think to myself, God, I will face my biggest fear if my mom just comes back. Or, God, I will, go through my worst phobia if I could just have my mom back. And so bargaining was definitely very hard. It was something that was very rough and hard to deal with, because in the back of my mind I knew my mom wasn't coming back. So the bargaining stage was probably one of the worst for me. I would definitely say that the depression stage was probably the absolute worst for me. I went from being, outgoing, and I would get up really early in the morning. I would take a shower, do my hair, do my makeup, wear nice clothes, go out, go shopping, just walk around the stores. Before all this stuff happened with my mom, I would just go and drive to my mom's apartment. She lived like 30 minutes away. I would drive there, and me and her and my sister would like go shopping and things. Once my mom passed and I hit the depression stage, I wouldn't do any of that. I would just lay in bed. I wouldn't even take a shower. I would most of the time I would shower at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it just wasn't me. I was depressed. I think once I accepted the fact that the bargaining wasn't gonna happen, because I already knew in the back of my mind that bargaining wasn't gonna bring my mom back, I wasn't doing anything that I would have normally been doing. Depression was probably the worst. Depression lasts probably the longest for me. I want to say my depression was probably at least 2 years. And like I said, I finally hit acceptance. That was where I finally was okay. I mean, I'm never gonna be okay with losing my mother. I want my mother to be there when I get married. I want my mother to be there when I have my first child. I want my mother to be there, in all of the moments I have in my life. But she won't be here physically, but I know that she'll be here spiritually. Every time that I get some kind of news, and it's like good news, I'll see a little ladybug. And my mother loved ladybugs. And so, like at my job, whenever I was about to get promoted up, right before I got the phone call, I saw a ladybug. And I feel like ladybugs just happen to appear whenever things like that are going on. Every time I saw a ladybug, I knew that my mom was around, or her spirit was there or something. Like I always felt like kind of a calmness whenever I saw a ladybug, because for me, that was my mom's way of communicating, saying, you're gonna be okay, things are gonna be all right. So I think that about wraps up this video. Like I said, I wanted to just come on and share something very personal to me and how I got through all of like my grieving and things about losing my mom. I hope if you're going through something similar to that, or something even close, I hope that this video can help you in any way, shape, or form. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!